FanFest was 2 days ago for the Carolina Panthers, and this offense just continues to evolve and get better each and every single day. Specifically, all the young players on this roster that we are essentially relying on in 2025 to become the best version of ourselves on this side of the ball. And this wide receiver room has a chance to be so special in 2025. Every single day of practice, FanFest, we have preseason coming up. Every single time we get to see this team practice and just play in general, this offense just gets me more and more excited than I already was the day before. And FanFest proved it again. Really the first time we got to really see 11 on 11s from the offense and defense. It was a great time. Obviously, every year the fans get to come together for the first time in the year, but right before preseason to just see this new team, see the starters, the ones play against the ones, the twos play against the twos. Kind of heading right into the topic for today, which is going to be how this offense just continues to evolve and get better each and every day. And FanFest was just another predicament of that. Jimmy Horn Jr., okay, I want to touch on him first because I've been mentioning this receiver room all off season long, specifically in training camp when we got to see this team really come together and more 11 on 11s, really see this offense go to work was training camp. I did not mention Jimmy Horn, right? I mentioned Jalen Coker, XL, T-Mac, Adam Thielen, Hunter Renfrow a lot because who's on the bubble with him and David Moore. Jimmy Horn was not mentioned for me a lot just because of the fact that he's going to be towards the back of the depth chart. He's a rookie. He's going to get a lot of special teams time. If he does get any offensive time, it won't be too much because he's a rookie. And he's in a talented room for the first time in a while. This is not a room that we've seen in terms of talent level in a long time for the Carolina Panthers. I was just assuming he was not going to get any time, but something with this room makes me rethink what I thought the day before. And Jimmy Horn has a chance to make a legit impact this season in this wide receiver room and make this offense even better. I mentioned before, before training camp, all of that when we drafted him, he's a different type of player. He brings a different type of skill set to this room. Obviously with the speed, he's 5'8", the top end speed he has, he can go on some screens, some jet sweeps. Special teams can be a really big impact this year for him as a rookie, being in a crowded room, as talented as it is right now. He's been making an impact in like a big impact all training camp long. Really the third slot guy for us behind Adam Thielen and Jalen Coker. So okay, what's your point? Okay, why are you bringing up Jimmy Horn? I just think, is there a possibility that he has a big impact this year? Like, we have to start discussing that because he had 2 touchdowns yesterday. Obviously, that first one at FanFest, I think he had the first one. It was like a short little drag route. I think it was 5-yard touchdown. It was the first touchdown at FanFest. I think it was from Andy Dalton. He had 2 touchdowns, though, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember the exact second one, but I know he had 2 touchdowns yesterday at FanFest. And it just got me thinking, like, what if this guy doesn't just come in and be an impact special teams player, just come in and play, a couple snaps a game. He comes in and makes a legit impact every single drive for this team, like a red zone threat, short passes, because he has a legit speed. You see it in training camp. Before FanFest even happened, you saw him being smooth on routes, being a 6th round pick. He looked so smooth in his routes. He's so fast. He's so smooth as a receiver already when we thought that's what he needed to work on as a player and come in and really polish his game on. He looks so smooth and so polished already as a receiver. It's crazy to me, right? In terms of route running and everything. I mean, he might even be more polished off the rip than some of the young guys we already have on this team. I don't want to mention any names, but he might be more polished than certain guys on this team right now in terms of being a legit receiver. And it's just crazy to think about because this room is already so crowded. Who are you going to play? If Jimmy Horn taps in and becomes a legit weapon, you're going to have to leave someone out. You're not leaving T-Mac out. He was your 8th overall pick. He's going to be, and not only that, he's going to be talented this year enough to be that number one receiver. Next is Adam Thielen. We're not letting him go. He wanted to come back this year. He's a legit threat for Bryce too on third downs. You have Jalen Coker. You have XL. If Jimmy Horn taps in, that's 5 guys right there, plus Hunter Renfrow. Who are you going to leave out week to week? It's just going to be tough. This room is crazy good, and not everybody wants to, the NFL landscape. No one wants to actually acknowledge how good this room actually is. It's so good right now, and it just gets better every single day, it feels like. Okay, this is going to be, I think, the X factor of this team this season. We know the running back room is going to be good. Chuba was good last year. You added a 1,000-yard rusher with Rico Dowdle. He's going to bring a different type of skill set because of his receiving, threat that he has. The offensive line is going to be good, obviously, so you have that connected with the running game. The receiving game is still a question mark just because of the fact that I want to see it on Sundays. Okay, but what we're seeing in training camp so far this offseason, this is the best receiver room we've had in a long time, since probably 2020 when we had Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel. It's just It just is on that level. I think it has the potential to be that, maybe even better this year if T-Mac does his thing and you have a breakout with XL or Jalen Coker. And then obviously I think it can be that Robbie Anderson type player. Okay. It has shades of being that good of a room this year. Plus, you just have better depth at this point in this room. It's just, I'm super excited if you cannot tell. I'm super excited about this year, about the potential this offense has, but it just gets me even more excited. And I think the potential of this team just goes up every single day. Okay, right now I have us between 7 to 10 wins in terms of floor and ceiling. I'm inching towards every day closer to 10 with this offense just getting better every single day in training camp, better every single day, obviously in FanFest, as we saw on the offense side of the ball. But I want to mention Jimmy Horn because he's a big-time impact player. And also Jatavion Sanders as well. I mentioned him so much. Him and Shaw have been the best players in terms of year 2 players so far this offseason. Him and Shaw. Shaw, I predicted him to be the breakout player out of year 2 players this year. I still believe that. I think he's going to have an insane year this year in terms of year 2 players. But JT, you see his body is slimmed down. And that's so important because if you want to be a receiving threat like that and be a complete downfield tight end week to week, he looks the part, bro. He looks like Kyle Pitts. Obviously, he's way smaller than he is in terms of strength. Thinking about a vertical threat, really, right? An actual receiving threat. JT has slimmed down a lot this offseason, and I'm very excited to see what he can do on Sunday so bad because if he can tap in his potential, this offense really has just scratched the surface. And I've been preaching this all training camp, right? It's kind of getting repetitive now, but it's like every single day the offense takes steps and steps and steps consistently every single day from practice all the way to FanFest now. Now preseason, I'm super excited about preseason as well here in the next couple of days to watch us go against the Browns. We have joint practice in about 2 days. I'm excited about that as well. It's just a lot of things right now that this offense can continue to develop on, continue to get better with. And it's just super exciting. It's super exciting. I'm super ready for this offense to take that leap, take that next step, continue to take steps, as an offense. And it's going to be starting with preseason, man. If you can get Jimmy Horn, good Jimmy Horn reps, and he's out there just going crazy with the second team in preseason because he's going to get a lot of snaps as a rookie. It's just going to be who are you going to play Sunday to Sunday, man. Like it's just, and if you get injuries, you're really good. You're solid there. Okay, so that's kind of what I wanted to make this video about is just the offense, man. Is just continue to take steps. The offense continues to evolve. Every single practice, every single day, this offseason, this offense continues to take steps needed to become the best version of itself in 2025. Next thing I do want to talk about is Xavier Legette, okay? Because he's a big topic. Yesterday, he had one drop, and people were going crazy. It's crazy because no one wants to, credit and say that he had a 45-yard touchdown either in the beginning of FanFest. It's insane that fans like to juggle things just to fit their narrative. If you're a Panthers fan, you should be rooting for the team and the success of your team, not picking and choosing what players you like and what players you don't like. It's kind of weird how Panther fans like to do that, but this is the fan base we live in, and we have to accept it. He had one drop ball. Okay, it was not a very clean catch. Obviously, you want to see him really head top the ball and really put his both hands up and try to catch it. He kind of put his hands out on that pass when the ball was a little behind him. So just a little bit of an adjustment, but the ball was a little behind him and it was a PI. So you can't really give him all the blame on that. He gets like 30% of it for not adjusting. Again, if you want to be elite in the NFL and become the second receiver on this team, he needs to be able to adjust to those type of balls and get better at those type of situations because as an elite receiver, like for example, Jay Jettas, Jamar Chase, receivers like that know how to adjust to bad passes in occasion. Your quarterback's not going to make perfect passes, especially with deep balls every single time. But if you're a good receiver and a great receiver in the league, you can adjust and figure out a way to make catches. That's the biggest thing is if you're a great receiver in this league, you can figure out a way to always come down with the ball and make a good play on the ball. Okay. And that's what seems like XL's struggling with a little bit in year 1 and year 2 is his ability to, if he's not wide open, he just can't adjust and figure out ways to just, you're bigger than that guy. You're bigger than that corner. Just go up and catch the ball with both your hands. You can do it. Right. But yesterday, people just overreacted like he did not have a big touchdown pass in the beginning of FanFest. Then saying like overreacting, man. Like let's kind of slow down a little bit. XO's going to be fine. Okay, I fully believe he's going to be fine. I still think Jalen Coker is the second best receiver on this team. If I had to rank, it would be T-Mac, Coker, XL, and I think it could be the three. Depends on where you like it, but in terms of, listen, if we want this receiver room to be the best it can be, you need both to tap into potential. I don't care who's better. I really don't. I think personally Jalen Coker is better, but that doesn't mean I want him to be better. And if he's better, I'm going to brag in people's faces because he became better. I don't care. I just want both of them to be good and both of them to be really good this year to make this receiver room just the best it can be. So that's my biggest thing for the offense side of the ball. Now it's that defense. Okay, now let me touch on the defense for a little bit from yesterday in FanFest. I do want to touch on this. Nick Scott was the starting free safety to start FanFest. That got switched quickly because Nick Scott's buns and he's not a good safety. So Damani Richardson was there. Thank God, because Damani Richardson is so much better than Nick Scott at safety. And I hope that continues in the preseason. I hope it continues into week 1 against Jacksonville as he's the starting safety. But besides that, it's kind of safety debacle a little bit, if you want to call it that. Nothing really big on defense yesterday at FanFest. Obviously, the ones on offense, a lot of people were a little concerned about. Like, they weren't getting a lot of big plays with Bryce and T-Mac, stuff like that. Andy Dalton got a lot of the big-time plays when it came to that, touchdown to Jimmy Horn. That touchdown to XL, I don't know if it was Bryce or Andy Dalton from the top of my head, but I know a lot of people were concerned about the number one offense. Listen, we're going to see them in preseason, right, against the Browns. We know Dave Canales did mention that they're going to be getting a couple drives, which I'm happy about. Okay, they're going to get a couple drives. I'm going to be concerned a little bit if they cannot move the ball. I'm just going to be, okay, because come on, it's preseason. I don't care if it's your first drive of the season. I need to see something because I just cannot be a sane person going into this season and they have no good drives in preseason. If you get a 3-and-out to start the first drive of preseason, then you do it again, you end game 1 with no good, number one offense drive. You do that consistently throughout the preseason, then we start week 1. I'm not going to feel confident, man. I just feel like it's going to be another recycle of last year. Not to be that fan, but me, being a Panthers fan, how long I've been for, and I see this every year, I'm just going to have that. I'm going to have that little feeling in my, gut that's like, man, we might be through this again. I need to see some type of explosive plays and some type of movement with the offense, the number one offense in specific, next Friday against the Browns. And I'm very excited about it. I think we have a chance to show me and just us in general as a fan base that this offense is moving a different direction in 2025. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications. We're on the road to 1K. We're so close. We're about 100 away. I would not be here without you guys, obviously, watching. I appreciate all you guys tuning in every single day. And we're on the road to 1K, man. I'm going to do something special, maybe drop some merch or whatever. I'm going to do something. I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to figure something out when we hit 1K. I'm going to plan something out for y'all, okay? So if you guys mess with this channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, share with some other Panthers fans, and we're on that road to 1K, man. With that being said, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.